Hey guys, this is Colonial, and it's episode 3 of my 55-man mega game as Late Age Calum. So I had two battles this turn. Both of them are going for some tribes in the forest. So let's see how I do against a variety of forest tribes. It's almost identical, my two armies I'm sending. And yeah, I'm now using archers, but still the lances. I might start to cut back on the lances because I want to start build. The lances would die every time, and I'd like to start building up a troop supply who lives. So I might take a bit of inefficiency here in order to have guys who with more survivability. This is the one that had my prophet, and he, especially my bless of aim plus long distance spells, is proving to be quite good for the smites. He can sit pretty much anywhere on the battlefield and hit guys with his heavenly strike. So that's kind of fun. Alright, we're having some fleeing, but I've lost a lot of troops if you see it. I'm down to like 9, which is pretty bad. But yeah, it looks like they're starting to rout these bad guys. So that's cool. Yep, he's routed. Alright, this province is mine. Let's see the next one. East Bramblewood. Eastern Bramblewood. So this is exact same army, basically, but without the prophet. In this one, my elephants have already taken out 9 of the tribes that were here originally. That's why I gave it the slightly weaker army. Alright, the infantry ones have fled. One barbarian seems to have made it back to the archers, which is a shame, but he's out. I lost a few archers. Now they are hitting him and the archers. But again, I am down to now 9, 8, 9 of the guys. Yeah, I think that is a flee on the part of my infantry, which is a bad sign. These tribes are quite tricky for the Kalians because the generals mix up with the troops, and it's not easy to jump to the back and kill his generals, which is, yeah, I've routed. So I think I lose this one, which is a shame. So I only got 1 province this turn, but that's far better than 0. Nothing, nothing. Alright, so I got this province. It has a wild forest in it. If you remember from last episode, I was preparing to jump on this huge pile of tribes. And I've in fact geared up 2 turns worth of expansion to do it with. So this guy sits there because he can't fly fast enough. But I have a whole bunch of archers here who can go. And here I've just recruited this here super mage, but because I recruited him to come out in late winter, which I wasn't thinking of, he in fact got hit by the old age of this year, and it blinded him. So I now have a blind guy. But he can still carry troops, he can still fly. I didn't really need him to do much punching. So he's just going to go in with a 0 accuracy and throw bombs willy-nilly, basically. And I have a good number of much better armored troops alongside some of the lances. A few more archers. And so this guy here, I think I'm going to rename him, in fact. You can see that next episode. But he's going to join this army that was looking at popping the fort. In terms of looking at popping the fort, we have started to destroy the gates of the fort, but work is going very slowly. So 1 recruitment of archers is not going to be enough to make any headway. That's 24 troops, comes to about 40 something because I'm flying, so I'm much better at it. I kind of have Nutcracker built into my nation. So this is what I'm going to throw there. This is a lot of guys. We're looking at 52 plus 2 generals. We're looking at 54 troops hitting this guy. So I'm hoping that now we're going to start to see enough mass of men that I can win. Unfortunately, I'm not going to test this time because there is literally nothing else this army can do. If it's not going to work, the optimal thing to do is just lose anyway and make it a lot easier next time. But because I'm up to Alt 3, this guy can give himself Misform and Iron Skin. So hopefully my blind fool won't die. And then I was thinking he blesses himself and he does a bit of Earth Meld. It will likely miss, but also will likely still be better than a kick in the pants. I guess I don't normally show you my scripting, but this time I'm so that's my big push this turn, is that I am finally yep, look, someone's already claimed a throne, which is fun. Yeah, my big push is to try and start moving onto this vast, wealthy plains. I've discovered that on the other side of the plains we have this guy, which is middle-aged Zabalba. So I now border 2 Zabalbas, one through here, and one through whenever this land gets claimed by one of us, basically. So I wouldn't mind, if I have to stick to my side of the river, that's still a huge amount of money. I wouldn't mind that, but if I could grab even like that, would be huge, or like that, basically, would also be quite nice. But this turn I make a start. He is barely outnumbering me at all with my huge force I'm throwing, so hopefully that's alright. This guy is going to be my other expansion this turn, and as you saw last episode, he lost most of his infantry, so I'm going to basically cobble some stuff together. A big part of it will be this particular elephant will be a giant distraction of a man in the front, while my archers, and he's down to just his archers as well. So it's all, I'm kind of surprisingly hopeful for that particular battle with scraps. And then I have a major battle going on in the east. I have quite a bit of money, so in fact I moved a general into position this turn to start my second fort down here, which I will do. I will also up its defense. I'm slowly pushing everything now to 6 in bits and pieces. And in terms of this, basically when I lost this particular battle here, my general actually died in the flight, so I'm down to only 1 flying general plus my profit, which is terrible. Of course, this one isn't going to count. After this battle, he goes to site searching. So I think I'm going to take a third fort turn of non-capital onlys, which will mean I grab one of these Raven Lords again, and then I'm going to grab another Seraph as a cap-only mage, because then I can grab a Raven Lord next turn, whereas if I get another Harab Elder, it'll take 2 turns and I'll be a bit low on cash. So I'm going to play with armored troops, and I think we're looking at something like this. So that'll be what I might grab here to join my Raven Lord, and then this one will probably, these 2 new lords will fly back and forth for the Eastern Front for a bit. And I have spent most of my gold. This guy gets a point of PD. And next turn I have another siege. So that'll be it for this turn. Let's jump forward and see what happens. I'll move around some little crappy guys. I'm no longer showing you that. Alright, see you in a second. Hey guys, this is turn 12, and we have a couple of battles this turn. Let's take a look. So this is the plains that I've never been able to send a strong enough army against. And it looks like I've got a bad frame rate this particular battle. So it's not that scary. I mean, it's a fair lot of guys, but I also have a fair lot of guys. I have this super mage, but mostly he's just scripted to stay alive, and he was ferrying some troops. Look at that, they've already run their main force. My infantry is a bunch of different bunch of different infantry. Oh, look. Frame rate. Oh, there you go. It's coming back up. Yeah, I have some kind of a grab bag of different infantry because that's what I built. Okay, I think my infantry has unfortunately fled. So we're just having an archer battle, but he has no armor. So my light armor might be getting the job done. He's slowly, a few guys are fleeing every turn. Yeah, it's up there. He's fled, but yeah, it kind of fell down into being pathetic there at the end. Let's see how it played out. So I lost most of my infantry, but pretty modest in terms of losing my archers. One issue is the Raven Lord and the Blind Doge both retreated. Blind Doge is a historical figure. He was not, in fact, a dog. But this is a blind, super old guy, just like him. Okay, we'll look at the other battle. He was the King of Venice, was called the Doge. This is also a much smaller force, and this is only archers as well. This is basically an archer battle right now, with one elephant who is going to cause drama for everyone when he arrives. Look at him arriving and causing drama for everyone. And the elephant flees. But so do the bad guys. Enemy independents are routed. Alright, so I win 2 provinces this turn, which is always nice. I only lost 2 archers. And my elephant wandered off like a noob. Heat effect, which I hadn't noticed before. So here we are, and as I mentioned, I got this province. I knew that this was coming. They told me they were doing it. So that's a blow. That was a valuable farmland. I might snipe it later because it's still very much on my side of the river. Here we have no generals and an army of archers. So that's going to set me back a bit. I need to bring the general in. Next turn they can fly again. And they'll probably go and hit this thing with whatever's coming out of here. So in terms of expansion this turn, my only practical play is unfortunately to do these lovely guys. The lovely guys are going to take out this final north. This will be my last move in the north. And they will be joined by this army here. And that army can hit because they're at move 20. Recruitment, I'm going to go for my next Harab Elder. He'll take 3 turns because it's 1 full turn and 2 half turns. And then I'm just going to grab a bunch of these fast, heavy infantry. Finish off with Aspire Horn. And they are going to be grabbed by my prophet coming home. So only 1 expansion this turn. Next turn, it'll be 1 or 2. I've also just lost this province to Archiskephali, but he says I can take it. He says he's just holding it to be safe from... Agartha has popped up here, apparently. So he's grabbed it so Agartha doesn't, but he'll let me have it back in exchange for an NAP and a promise not to move beyond 866. So I'll take that for sure. Luckily, my Harab Elder who fled, didn't die, and fled somewhere where he can site search. So that's what I'm going to do. This guy has a couple of infantry to come with him. And then I'm going to keep building these. this guy is going to finish researching. I can achieve my 14. It's now in 2 turns without his 10. So he's gonna go back to building infrastructure. I'm gonna maybe build either a lab or a temple here. A temple here is interesting because this particular priestess only requires a temple, but there's like a 55% chance she'll come out with some useful paths along. So anyway, so it might be good to start by grabbing a few of those and then put there a lab later. And eventually he'll want a lab and temple up this palisade coming. But in the meantime, it can go a couple of turns building scouts and generals because I would love to get the generals out of my capital. So I'll build a bit more PD with my extra money, and I'll save 400 so that next turn I can build that lab. And I could possibly also build a fort there and a lab at the same time. So I think we're looking like this, and then I think I'll put it there. Lizard's a pretty strong PD. So I'm filling up the place. I only have about 4 or 5 more provinces without any PD at the moment. And that should be it for this turn. I'll just grab this, which should have a good supply of gold. The next turn I'll grab that. Maybe I'll grab this one, or else we'll see how it goes next turn. So that'll be it for now. And I will see you guys, I think next turn might be the last, but I'm not sure. Let's see how it goes. See ya! Hey guys, it's turn 13, and expansion is beginning to wind down, but still ongoing. And my god has just emerged, so that should add a bit of spiciness to the events. Let's take a look at the one battle I had this turn, which is my last elephant and a bunch of archers. The elephant is doing some damage, and my own archers unfortunately kill him. So these guys have attacked rear, which means that there's no defense against these guys attacking the front, so I might need to rethink that a bit. But they, I think, just took out all the generals. So next tick, right when these guys are about to hit, yep. So in this particular case I was safe from them hitting me because the timing worked out, but next time I might need to rethink that one a bit. Especially since these Raven Lords only get 2 armies, unfortunately. So if he had 3, I could have the archers and then attack rear and an attack closest. But as it stands, I cannot. But I won this battle, which is great, because it's a plains province with some good income. My income is now bumped up to 13. So that's pretty respectable. And I'm not done with expansion yet. In fact, I discovered that this particular mountains is unclaimed, so I'm going to try my luck with that one. You can see if I do something with scripting over here. He's going there. And, as I'm sure you're aware from a minute ago, I've geared up to also take this province here, although I've lost this province to Pangaea. That particular expansion force is going to get pinned by the water because it's hot out, and he can't fly. So we're looking at these guys coming up here. This army I'm absolutely going to do some kind of an attack front and back kind of a game, I think. The god is out. She doesn't really have much utility in the lab, so she is going to do some site searching. She's also probably going to claim the throne. This guy did his search. He didn't find anything, but he's going to continue searching the mountains because air and earth both like the mountains, so the earth specialist is going to be good in the mountains. I'm finally getting my alteration, so then I'll quickly grab construction 2 and see where to head next, but it might be conjuration. It could be construction 4, but I'm guessing I'll grab first conjuration 3. Thaumaturgy might be something I do as well. I have a bit of leftover research. We're pushing past the goal a bit, so I could move one of these guys in here because next turn I'm getting my wind guide, and that one might need him, but I don't think I will because this particular turn I won't be able to script him properly, and he'll probably waste his air gem on some stupid stuff. So I think instead what I'm going to do is move one of these guys back to my capital, start banking them, because they're exposed out here, and when they're in the capital they'll be a lot safer. And so I'll still be able to hit my alteration next turn, ready for war. In terms of expansion, I think I'm going to have 2 more turns of building expansion troops, and this is a grade that can eventually hand me down into an army for war. But I won't have anyone to carry them, so I'll get 2 turns, one with heavy infantry and one with archers, and then I will probably drop them to the south, grab this province, and then see what I can get in this southern mountain range. So that'll be more or less it. Once this fort's coming online next turn, and I'll begin building up a big pile of lances on top of this fort to crack it, conquer this province as well probably. I have a bunch of gold, so this guy is positioned to construct a temple. This guy is positioned to construct a fort. I would say it's my final fort, but I'm now wondering if I should put a fort also there. So it was originally planned to be my final fort, but it might not be quite finished yet. So after building 2 pieces of infrastructure and recruiting, I still have a bit of gold, so I'm going to go around, finish up my PD, and in fact I'll get everywhere up to 6, and then I will get some key provinces as far as 10, my forts and my one recruitment province for sages. So that'll be a nice place to be in. I'll be ready for an invasion if one comes along, which is always nice. Let's see where I stand. So that's everyone done, but now I will put 10 here. And that should get me down to about 100 gold, which I can put into infrastructure next turn. 10 here, and 10 here. And I might boost a couple of other places to 10, like these other potential recruitment sites, but I'm more or less happy now with my PD. This guy will check out the southern mountains, because I might want to keep expanding down that way even when my main expansion is done. And that should be it for this turn. I will see you guys in a minute. Hey guys, this is Colonial, and this is turn 14. Should be the last one for today. I had 2 expansions. Let's see how they went. So this one, he had some unexpected mages, and they've dropped Wind Guide. I don't know how they dropped Wind Guide. If you see... oh, this guy did it. So these cloud mages are always a bit of a nasty surprise. It's probably why no one else had conquered the province yet. Probably dropping these guys in the front also wasn't optimal. I feel like they could have gone attack rear. And the front is fled, but he's throwing orb lightning. And I'm losing archers. And I'm attacking with my general, because everyone's stupid. Well, there was an orb lightning went off. General's down. So, lost a general, and I lost a battle. This one here, I won't show you. Well, may as well. So I'm getting at least to look at the bless of these particular guys, who are pretty dangerous. Alright. Defense skill goes up to 20. Yeah, they have a bunch of little blesses, but including Blood Surge, Strength, Defense skill, and some resistances. So yeah, that's a bit... yeah, that's wildly dangerous. This guy has 31 hit points. It's good to keep an eye on that for later use. And then when he comes up against my own guys, which is a big army, unfortunately it doesn't go great for me. Now, of course, what you're noticing is this guy's here alone in the back. If I had scripted this to fight them, I would have dropped everyone on that prophet of his. Might have gone a little bit better, but as it stands, he's more or less ripping me apart. I take out one of his guys, but it means this turn, not only do I not expand at all, but also both my expansion forces are basically killed, which is not good for the future. But I did get a new palisade. So basically that's where my expansion ends, which is why I'm calling it for this episode. I'll still get to expand to the south, and in fact this guy has seen that the whole southern mountains are ripe for expansion, but this turn I'm not doing anything in terms of expansion, and I've lost all the farmlands to this buffoon to my north. So yeah, this one comes online, and that could be much needed. I'm wondering if... So I'm thinking I'll attack Pangea. I mean, it's not sure. The only other good option right now might be these Mooch. But Pangea's annoying and up in my grill, which means I want to wait until this fort comes online. So possibly 2 more turns out, I would launch an attack for force. Would be an optimistic play. This guy is going to claim the throne so I can get a bit more gold income, because I'm not getting it from provinces. This guy's going to search. And there's an option that he might, because he just bounced off me, he might attack, which would be annoying. But he hasn't shown himself to be a really audacious player so far. So there's a good chance he doesn't attack. I'm going to keep going with these archers. Since I've just invested in Wind Guide, I need the archers anyway. They'll still be useful, but if I knew he was going to attack, I would shift up to some lances so I could try and take out that prophet of his. But as it stands, that'll be my play. And that means next turn, I'll be in a position to send one final expansion force down towards... see how many mountains he can grab. This comes online next turn. I might use it to reinforce the expansion force with a few lances. Research is going to be an important one. I was thinking of going up to Construct Conjuration. I think I'm going to instead go to Enchantment 3, because Enchantment 3 has the wonderful Seeking Arrow. And if I could get 3 Seeking Arrow casters to hit that prophet, that would completely ruin his day. So we're going to go for that. But instead of using 140 RP, I think I'm going to bank these 2 guys. Go down to just one more turn of 100 RP, and the next time 140. And see, I'm regearing. This is kind of what I'm looking at now in terms of what I got after initial expansion, but there's still some room to expand. Eventually this guy should be able to jump to there. Grab that with a bunch of lances, but let's wait until he gets a bit bigger first. And right now what he's going to do, if I don't get invaded, is he's going to start supplying a big... I'm going to start building up a giant army on top of this fort, and then when it's done with its forting around, it will be ready to fight. So that's where we stand at the end of expansion. Could have done... I mean, I really wish I'd gotten this stuff. This is 5... This is a huge amount of money up here, but that's kind of why I'm going for Pangea. Sure, he's being a cheeky git, but also he's sitting on some really good land. Even these mountains are something I had in mind. And in the south, if I can get this mountain range, and then in the north get this mountain range, hopefully that'll be a good amount of air income a bit later on. So that's where I am for now. This guy has built a temple. Oh yes. With his temple, he will begin recruiting these temple-y wizards. And then I think I'm going to push up a few more level 10 defenses around the place. These 3 in particular. And I guess this one. Cool. And that'll be, unfortunately, it for this turn with no expansion for the first time. But I should have a good force coming online to keep a trickle starting tomorrow. And now I'm gearing up for war. Next episode, if he doesn't hit me hard and fast, next episode will be one of... Oh, in fact, he can't jump this water right now because this is too cold. So that's lovely. Let me downgrade this defense. Let me upgrade instead this defense. Yeah, so hopefully I'll have a couple of turns to prepare and then drop on this green fucker. But expansion's more or less done. And I will see you guys next episode.